Our next author, like Vanessa, is also from Canada. Our friends up north are joining us for this launch. Very exciting. And our next author has a powerful message about productivity, not just about being more productive and getting more done, but really from the inside out, how doing that work changes who you are, how you serve, and how you show up in the world. Her book, It's Go Time, the all-in system for unstoppable success in business and life. Make sure you get it now on Amazon while you join me in welcoming Jill McAbe. Jill, come on up here. Hello. We have so much to talk about. It's go time. Go time. And it is go time. Let's talk about this book and why you wrote it, who it's for.
This book was a long journey. 10 years ago, I had a life reset, an involuntary life reset. Somebody talking on their cell hit my car, in their car, and I ended up in 2 years. I had spine, neck, rib, head injuries that left me in 2 years of rehab, stripped me of everything I had earned, even though I'd been quite successful to that point, paying for medical bills. And it came out of that about a year and a half later, really questioning what life was about, really questioning, like, could I really go back to what I was doing just because I was successful at this or whatever? I needed more. But as I started on that journey, actually I did go back to what I was doing because I also needed money to pay for my
I needed more and I needed money.
I needed cash to pay for my medical debt. But the whole time I was like, I need to do something I'm meant to do. Like, I felt like I was given a second chance to live. The ambulance drivers didn't think I was going to live. They didn't think a live body was in that car. And so I wanted to figure out, like, I'm going to do something I'm meant to do, and da-da-da-da-da, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out what I was meant to do. And I spent the better part of 7 years trying to figure out what I was meant to do, reading self-help books and whatever. And my day job is like an operational efficiency expert doing business development for businesses. So it's like, I know how to make stuff happen, but how could I couldn't do it for myself? And that's why I wrote this book, because there are so many people out there, especially as they get older. I work with people when they kind of around that 50-year-old mark, if you're that age, you know what I'm talking about. You start to kind of feel like you need to do something that is more than just for money. You need more than more. You need meaning. And how to find that was really hard for me. And when I figured out how to find it and how to actually, like, oh, you can actually figure out what you're meant to do, and then productivity, how to get that done, especially if you're late in life, I had to write that book so that people who were struggling with that decision, who felt stuck, could do that for themselves. It took me way too long, and I don't want people to take that long to do it for themselves.
That's such a powerful message. Who would you say, I know that anyone could benefit from more productivity, but who would you say this message is most targeted to?
So the book goes productivity is sort of the last part of the book. The book is really messaged to, if you are working for yourself and selling your talent and time, you are probably really already very close to what you're meant to do, but you might be feeling really stuck on a decision like, do I do this and do I do that? And maybe you've been trying to tweak your business for a while. What I discovered was that being in business development, there's really not a lot written for you if you sell your talent and time. There's really not models out there in books that really lay it out like, listen, if you're in a company with lots of employees, you can actually afford not to be incredibly efficient. You can afford, and genuinely don't want that, but if you work alone or with one other person, you'll never make it unless you are a master of execution. But part of being a master of execution is always knowing which project to pick and always doing it in the right order. So you're not doing, like, if you're doing the right work at the wrong time, you're not getting the benefits. And if you work alone, you know what I'm talking about.
Sure. So do you mostly work with solopreneurs?
Yeah. So now I switched about 3 years ago to working with solopreneurs specifically, maybe one or two people who are selling their talent and their time and who need a model for, like, how to really make that work.
So powerful. So I want to ask you a question that actually Chastity from Alabama wrote in with. And she said, and it's a perfect one for you because you get to give us some time management tips in the process. She says, how do you make time to complete a book when you have a family and a full-time career? I know for you, you did this while you had a busy business and lots of clients. So how do you even think of the term make time, and how did it apply to getting your book done?
One of my past program participants she actually answered this better. There is always time. There is always time for the things that you decide have to happen. A lot of times when we're saying we don't have time, what's really happened is we haven't made the decision that that thing has to happen. When I finally made the decision, for sure, like I have to finally do this book, I made the time. On top of that, there's the decision, but then there's also structure, and structure matters a lot too. And actually Author Incubator offers so much structure. So you've got the decision and it's almost like you know what to do, right? But now, would it help if you had a really good way to do it? And so I sort of knew what I needed to do. And I think Author Incubator, you gave me, right, how to do it. And when you have those two things together, which is also what I teach in It's Go Time, how do you pick what to do and then how do you do it? Those two things together always work like it's magic.
So I was speaking at a very big event, I think 3,000, 4,000 people, and you managed to track me down and maybe clobber me once or twice. Yes. You knew you wanted to work with us, and I'm just curious why. There's lots of people you could write a book with, but you were pretty clear you were going to make this happen. So why us? I don't know how long you had heard of us or what helped you make this decision.
Okay, so cool, guys. First of all, that event, I'm going to give them a shout out, Archangel. They're so awesome. I was at that event. I was finally like, it was go time. I was just like, I couldn't face 2020 without getting my book done. I had been offered, agents were talking to me. They'd already kind of had some like sweet talking with publishers. And why did I decide to like self-publish when I had that option? Because Angela stood there on stage and she said, it was the speed because those publishers were like, you're going to get this book done and it's going to be like 2 years. And I'm like, are you kidding? I was like 40, I had a car accident. I'm like 42, I finally get back to work doing what I'm not meant to do. And by the time I'm 48, I'm doing what I am meant to do. And then by the time I'm 50, I figured out how to help other people do it. Now I have to wait 2 more years? No. And I was just like, I had to get it done. And I met so many other authors that you incubated, and getting it done, like it was go time.
I love that. It's so powerful. One of the things for me is sort of similar just in terms of why I started the company and why we do it is the message that changed my life, the first book that changed my life. If that author had gone with a traditional publisher and waited 2 years, I don't know that I would still be here. And I think of so many entrepreneurs who would shut down their business. And entrepreneurship is lonely. When it's not go time and you lose momentum, things happen with our mental health, with our families, with what we're eating. And I think there are so many, even though you're teaching here alignment and productivity, we all know there's so much more below the surface. So getting these messages out quickly to the people who need them is core to me. So I'm glad that resonated with you, and this book gets to change your life starting right now. I'm going to show it to you because it's the best cover. I always say the most important thing with a cover is that we can read the title. We did that sufficiently here. So I'm very excited about that. You need to get this because for you, it is go time in some area of your business or your life. This is the system you have been waiting for. This book is on Amazon. It is free. It will not always be free. It is a very limited time window. Get it, flip to the end, find Jill's contact information because this woman has changed lots of lives. More to come, maybe yours. Jill, congratulations on this book. Amazing accomplishment.